So whether you're in Bellevue today or downtown, whether you're in one of our family rooms, the lakeside room, the fireside room, we're glad you're with us today as we wrap up our summer road trip series here at Spring Lake Church. And today I want to wrap it up by talking about something that was near and dear to my heart growing up for the road trip. It was an important part of my childhood experience on the road for myself and my parents. Today, we're going to talk about road maps. Now, some of you have no idea what a road map is. You can Google it or ChatGPT it later. But that road map was essential to getting you to where you needed to go. Maybe you were in a small town. You didn't need a road map, but you would have a local road map. This is from a recent trip taken to Washington, D.C. And you open the map up because you don't have a phone at this point when we were using these. You open the map up, and it would give you a couple of blocks, and you can flip the map and get a couple of other blocks, but that's it. You're not going much farther than what this map says unless you're getting lost. It'll show you the highlights, some of the monuments and things that make DC famous. Now, growing up also, you may remember what a nightmare these were to fold back up, so we're not even gonna try this morning to fold it up. If you were going on a larger trip, either within the state or across multiple states, you would have with you your road atlas. Now, this bad boy could get you just about anywhere in the country, but it was work. You would find where you wanted to go and hold it up, and all of the roads that hopefully you need are going to be on this. Now, people say you shouldn't be using your phone and your map while you drive, and I get it, be safe when you drive. But can you imagine trying to drive by yourself using this to get where you need to go? So you're driving, looking for a road, doing this to your front windshield. Not the safest way to travel. And then on top of that, this doesn't tell you as much as what you're used to hearing nowadays with your phone. Is there voice navigation with this? Absolutely not. Does it have side roads? Only if you are very lucky. Once you get into a state, then you have to find a city. Then once you find the city, probably half the roads, if you're lucky, are on the map. The rest, you're stopping and asking directions. Are there gas stations on here? You're out of luck. What about small towns? Nope. Places like Lawrence, where we're going to talk about in a minute, nowhere to be seen on the 2026 Atlas. If you didn't have a new atlas, and let's say you borrowed your grandma and grandpa's atlas from the 70s or 80s, and the roads all changed, you had no way of knowing until you got to where the road used to be. So atlases were a fun adventure. We are blessed with the technology we have now to be up to date, up to speed, have accuracy. When potty breaks are needed, we can punch in where's the nearest gas station or rest station and find it all at our fingertips. It's so nice. But the goal of a map, then and now, is to get us to where we're going. It makes sense. That's why we have maps. When you're on a road trip, you want to get from A to Z, from your starting point to your destination. About a month back, our family did a road trip to Tennessee. We did the Dollywood, tubing, mountain coaster stuff you do in Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, kind of that area. And while we were there, had a great time. The next step was supposed to be to go down to South Carolina. Now that road from Green Bay to Tennessee, I know it like the back of my hand. I grew up not far from there, so I've gone back several times to see family. I had a daughter who went to college not far from there, so I don't need a map. I know side roads, I know alternate highways. I can get there pretty easy. Once I was in Tennessee and we were supposed to go to South Carolina, I still felt pretty comfortable, but then we had to adjust our plans. Amanda and I were talking and we're like, what's a great one day, big end of the summer event that would be great to do? And we found the spot we wanted to go in St. Louis. Now to get from Gatlinburg to St. Louis, A to Z, I had no clue. I've been through St. Louis one time, and that was in the middle of the night, just driving through on the highway. I have never been anywhere near the path I would need to be on to get from Gatlinburg to St. Louis. The map was a requirement to get where we needed to go. We took the vacation, we had a great time. As I said, I can promise you, We wouldn't have got there, but with the help of maps, we did. Now, as a church, as we drive forward into this upcoming season, from now right up till right around 2026, we've prayed, we've prepared, and now we want to look at ministry destinations. I want to roll out for us this morning an accurate roadmap to where we're going in these next months, this next ministry season. Now, the core of what we do as a church will always be our life groups. We've always said at Spring Lake, we learn in both rows and circles. Outside of the rows, we get in these circles in our life groups, and this is where the rubber meets the road with the passages. This is where we can dig a little deeper with life on life and relationship and bringing the scripture into it. The letter of the law is not what we're about, it's the spirit of the law. What is the point of what the scripture is saying? How do we apply it to life? That's the conversations that happen in our life groups. Now with this, as we continue to add life groups, we're gonna be offering a new class for those who want to learn. It's called Teaching to Teach. Maybe you'd like to be a life group leader or you'd like to teach more, but you're just insecure and not sure about it. This class is gonna be an opportunity to find out, is this a gift area for me? Can I grow and develop it? And the answer I would bet you is yes, if you've got the heart for it. So our care groups, if you're unfamiliar with them, are groups that look to meet people where they are in the different hurts, habits, hangups, and challenges that come from living on a fallen planet with very imperfect people. I know I'm not the only one who fits that description. Jesus meets us in the mess and in our challenges. So this month, our G4 groups are going to be launching Grief Share, Divorce Care, a group for women who have gone through trauma, and then a group for people struggling with chronic illness. These will go alongside the 5 that we already have that are for substance abuse, men and women's sexual integrity, group for depression and anxiety, if that's your struggle, if that's the mental battle, the physical battle you live with, and then navigating destructive relationships. And all of these groups, I'm talking for the next 4 months or so, but all of these groups are year round. They're support groups, they're growth groups for the entire year. So our family ministry is a high school ministry, middle school, and then our children's on down. Our middle and high school students are gonna have a theme this year of salt and light. It's gonna be the aspect of our church mission of reaching the world. Our mission statement is loving God, maturing in his character, and reaching the world. They're gonna be focusing on the book of Acts and also sprinkling in some mini-series along the way. As a church, we'll continue to be tied in and part of the student ministry, either through being an amazing volunteer on the nights. Wednesday night, the student ministry is both downtown and Bellevue, or Awana nights, which are Tuesday nights, both downtown and Bellevue. But if you're not involved that way, you can still adopt a senior. Consider spending a year praying for and maybe investing in a senior. We also have Rent a Student. It's an opportunity for the students to make funds for the upcoming events in our youth group and our student ministry, both in the fall and the spring. And I want to challenge you because we have some worship nights coming up that are going to be student-led. I want to challenge you to get out to these and be a part of it. It is a beautiful thing for the church to worship together and to see another generation rise up and lead our church in worship. The Bible is very clear. Don't let anyone look down on you because you're young, but instead be the example in life, love, speech, faith, and purity. 1 Timothy tells us this. So church, I want to challenge us to be a part of these things. I am involved and have been active in each of these areas. Still have a great relationship with one of my adopted seniors. I've used the Rent a Student, and they've done some wonderful improvements on my house. And then, of course, I love being a part of the worship nights. If you have the time, I also want to let you know about one other connection opportunity that there is, and it's called Generation to Generation. It's a breakfast where our teens and our senior saints, maybe those a little more experienced in life, have breakfast and share time together. We have things we can impart to each other, generation to generation. We're going to be focusing on the kids areas. We're going to be talking about the Old Testament books, Judges through the Kings, and how God saw and heard their pleas and responded. And here's a news flash. It's the same way he does today. He still speaks today. Downtown, Awana is headed your way. We're excited to kick that off this month as well, just as in Bellevue. As always, each campus offers great opportunities to serve in our kids' ministries, to serve and bless these children. Some of you are saying, I would love to, but I don't know my Old Testament that well. I don't know those books of the Bible, and this is a great way to learn right along with them. You'll have the lesson, you'll go through it at a level of understanding. Obviously, that's appropriate for the children. You can go to the children's areas, both at downtown or in Bellevue, and talk to the children's leaders there, and they'll be able to set you up with what you need to do to be a children's leader. Now for our outreach, we're going to be building on what we've already done. We're going to be going back to Lake Charles, Louisiana and Fort Myers, Florida to finish what we started. Both of those areas were catastrophic, and we've been able to be part of teams to go in and help clean it up and serve the communities there. We're also going to be going back to Ecuador and working with Filters of Hope to continue outreaches and ministry there. And along with that, we've begun the conversations of how do we bless a specific local church there? How do we partner with them? What could this look like? We're going to ask you at the end of service as well to be praying about this. How can Spring Lake Church, by the power of the Holy Spirit, develop and equip tens of thousands of people? It's going to go beyond any of our buildings. How can we equip churches in Ecuador, as well as around Wisconsin, to be better equipped, to be ready to do what God calls them to do in making more disciples? As we go from out there to back here, let's talk about what we'll have at home. We'll have our Fallapalooza coming up. You'll be hearing more about that soon. That'll be on October 11th, as well as our Community Christmas. And every year, our Community Christmas has grown. As people become aware of it, as schools have gotten involved in even helping us promote it, it's an opportunity for us to love and bless our city. It's one thing to preach at them. It's another thing to wash their feet and serve them. It's an opportunity for us to show the love of Jesus to them. We also, for those of you in the world of sports, we have our All-Stars kicking off soon, and our sports leagues will be resuming in our gyms. Lawrence, the building is underway. If you haven't been by it, it's going up quickly. And when I talk about building, yes, I'm referring to brick and mortar and steel, but I'm also referring to people. It's amazing how many of you who are watching right now already know you'll be attending Lawrence because God has stirred it in your heart. I had a conversation 2 weeks ago in the lobby. Not only did God stir it in a certain woman's heart, but she lives 1 minute away. They are telling us, and I am now telling you, that mid-February is a very, very reasonable date to be able to expect to be in and ready to roll. So that means we're already in the process of talking to people, shoulder tapping, coffee servers, people who love to welcome, for people on worship teams, for technology, for children's ministry, for student ministry. We're going there and we're bringing the church of Jesus, into Lawrence, into that West De Pere, Lawrence, Fox Valley area. And we have a great opportunity in front of us, but it also comes with the fact that all this points to, and that is that we need you. We need you to be willing to serve if you're not already, in a way, in a capacity that you can right now. And I understand everyone's in different seasons of life. Some of you watching right now have a baby in your arms and you're in the family room because they can't even sit in a service yet. It's a constant movement, distraction, crying. It's where you are. We understand that. There's others of you who have the time where you could volunteer on a weekend or during the week toward one of these ministry areas or towards serving within a building or a people group. We understand that as well. We're asking you to pray, what season of life am I in that would allow me to serve in what area? Keep thinking and praying about that. I'll tell you this, whatever your gifts are and you say, I don't know if I can do that, you probably can. I was informed this week that if you can use your cell phone, you could be on our tech team. You can handle the equipment and the technology that we have that runs with our services. At the end of our message today, and this is crucial, at the end of our message today, our campus pastor, so Bill will be downtown, Adam here in Bellevue, they're going to walk us through action steps that we're asking everyone to take. We would love to know, what campus are you planning on attending? Are you closer to any specific campus? Do you have a heart tug toward a specific campus? I know many of you downtown, man, you're there because you want to be in the heart of Green Bay. Not just because it's a convenient location. Stay there, dig in, be a part, serve in that location. Let's keep ministering to the heart of the city. And let's find, how is Spring Lake going to be equipped and ready for this next season that we head into. So we get back on the highway, we're on the home stretch, and we look in the distance and we see our weekend services. We're going to be, from now actually till Easter, but from now until January, we're going to be in the Gospel of John. The Gospel of John, John's recording of the life of Jesus. Now, John stands out from the other three Gospels, which are Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And while all four tell the story of Jesus' life, they have a very different structure. Matthew, Mark, and Luke, very similar. John does his own thing. He tells the story in a very different way to a different audience. I don't want to give too much away. My goal today is to set the table for the weeks to come, especially next week, because John 1 is crucial to understanding the rest of the book. While Matthew, Mark, and Luke go chronologically through Jesus' life, kind of day by day, season by season, John takes a totally different approach and goes topical. He builds his book on different events and statements of Jesus. The Gospel of John is also considered the most spiritual book. He deals with more spiritual aspects of life than the other three Gospels do. He also clearly invites readers to believe in Jesus as the divine Son of God. The entire Bible obviously points to this, but John is very clear in what he wants us to understand and believe, why he's writing his book. A key feature to John is, as I mentioned, John 1, those first 18 verses. And I don't want to give away too much for next week, but there's a word that he uses, and in the beginning was the Word. And that word there is logos, which in the Greek means the word, the purpose, the meaning. In Greek philosophy and thought, it's like, this is it. In the beginning was all that counted, the purpose for everything. And that's Jesus. It's where we get our word logic from. It's in the beginning was the logic, the reason, what makes sense. John tells us that he existed with God from the beginning and through whom all things were made. This is the theological foundation for all of the Gospel of John. John emphasizes from beginning to end the divinity of Jesus, portraying him constantly as the Son of God. Instead of a rapid succession of storylines, John tells parables. John uses miracles and statements to build on. These miracles, John calls them signs because he believes there are road signs on this highway that point to, that show us who Jesus is. And then he uses Jesus' own words, beginning with three simple letters, two words, I am. It's a constant statement Jesus goes to, I am. Why does he do this? John says that the purpose of him writing in this way, he ends the book, the Gospel of John, John 20, 30, and 31. He says, Jesus did many other signs in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. But these are written so that you will believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. John is going to be very clear cut. If you ever hear anyone say, well, Jesus never said he was God. The Bible never says Jesus was divine or deity. John is going to debunk that myth. I want to take just a moment to give you kind of a heads up of what this is going to look like. I'm not going to dig too deep because that's what the series is going to be for. But these miracles Jesus does, they're in the first half of his letter. Just a quick highlight view. We see Jesus turning water into wine in Cana of Galilee. This is the beginning, the first of his signs. He heals the royal official's son. He heals a paralytic at the pool of Bethesda. He feeds 5,000 people. This goes back to an Old Testament reference of manna and God providing and Jesus being the bread of life. Jesus walks on water. He heals a man born blind. It's a sign that the light of the world can cause the darkness to be dispelled. And of course, the last one, Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead. John said these 7 signs are undeniable. And then we go into Jesus' own I am statements. Statements like, I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I'm the door of the sheep. My sheep will know my voice. I'm the good shepherd. I'm the resurrection and the life. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. There's no way to read around this. Jesus is being very clear who he is. He says, I am not just the vine, I am the true vine. He is our source. He's our life. All of these point to his uniqueness as the Son of God. That's the final piece we'll see in John. And we'll see throughout the book over and over that he's the Son of God. Now, so what? Why are we on this road? Why are we doing this roadmap? Why are we moving forward? What am I supposed to do with this? I hope you're asking that. And if you're not, I'm asking it for you. What are we supposed to do with this? Here's what I would ask, especially in these next 4 months, but I think I would ask us always. First of all is be involved both in word and deed. Be involved both word and deed. There's opportunities to study and be a part of serving, and both are part of our spiritual growth. Secondly, invite someone. John is a clear message on who Jesus is. If you've been talking to someone about Jesus and you've been wondering, man, what service would be good to take them to? This whole book, every chapter is going to have a challenge to see Jesus as the Son of God. I understand in some services we have some space issues, but we will make it work. Invite someone to service. And finally, I'm asking, please pray for us as a church. This is a critical and crucial season. In ministry, always, because we believe eternity is at stake. So in ministry, please be praying for us. Please be praying for us with our elders, our church leadership, finances as we continue to move toward this building, and then ministry teams that are raising up at all 3 campuses, that we can continue to serve well and honor God with it. Now, what I want to do now is I want to hand the service back into your local congregation, back to downtown, back to Bellevue, and let your campus pastors talk about what it looks like to follow through on some of these action steps.